Hi, everybody, and welcome to Burnout Culture. My name is Kazuma Hashimoto, and I am one of 3 hosts of this fantastic podcast.
Hey, I'm GC. I am another host of this fantastic podcast. How you doing?
I am Cullen, one of the hosts of Burnout Culture 2025. Pew, 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 pew.
You know
I'm wearing my Code Geass shirt, and I'm ready to talk about some flicks.
Yeah, just to let everybody know what kind of mood we're in, I'm wearing socks with sock garters and a giant Snuggie. Because I just came back from a meeting, but not in the Snuggie. But yeah, we're gonna jump into it because I feel like over this break we watched a lot of movies. Actually, and really didn't play a lot of games.
I did not play a lot of games, no.
Me either. No, we just did a bunch of watching, so this is the watch cast. This is also the start of our 2nd season of Burnout Culture.
Oh.
Yes, our 2nd season of Burnout Culture.
It is our first episode of season 2.
Yes.
Wow, we get to say once again, this is the first episode of Burnout Culture.
Exactly, the first episode, part 2. So please look forward to every 20 episodes being a new arc. This arc, I'm going to be doing a lot of reading and watching a lot of shit. So please look forward to it because I've decided that I hate video games.
Oh, so. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What does this change?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's just kind of like, sounds like season 2 is a lot of the same.
Yeah. Well, season 2 gets to start off on a great foot, kind of, maybe, who knows. Cullen and I want to talk about Nosferatu. We're just going to jump into it immediately because we had this really good conversation off recording. We watched, both of us watched Nosferatu, and Cullen, do you wanna jump into your thoughts about Nosferatu, and I'll bounce off you because we really actually feel the same way, I think.
Yes, very rare that we both think the same kind of middling opinion about a movie. For basically the same reasons as I have learned from our discussion before the podcast. First of all, I will like to say though, I had a very funny experience of watching this movie. So I went to a kind of dine-in theater experience for this, where they it's not like a really lavish one. My girlfriend got a gift card and this tickets were cheap. So we were like, fuck it, let's just go. Like they basically don't even dim the lights all the way. And you could like order all kinds of different like kind of crappy food. I was literally watching like Nosferatu hunt down, I'm just gonna call him Dracula. I was seeing Dracula hunt down this the husband guy while like sipping on like a root beer float.
Yes,
so when I was here like screaming, I was looking down, I'm like, yummy ice cream in my soda. So I was not scared about any part of this movie. Yeah. I don't know if it just wasn't a scary movie.
No, I don't think it was a horror movie. It's not a horror film.
No, but it definitely like did no help for the atmosphere that we watched the way we did. Having said that, I think it is a very well made and shot movie that through maybe their original intent or maybe through kind of studio meddling kind of loses a lot of any bit of what it's trying to say.
Well, so the production for this film, like a couple of actors had like dropped out. Like for example, the main actress I think was supposed to be Anya Taylor-Joy, and then she was replaced by Lily Rose Depp, who I think does a good job in the movie.
Yes. But like Anya Taylor-Joy, that's my girl.
Yeah. Like I had basically only seen Lily Rose Depp in like 2 things, and that was The King, in which she's there for 2 minutes to speak with a French accent and tell Timothée Chalamet that he's a shit king, and then The Idol, which was fucking terrible. And I can say that she's actually a pretty good actress if she's in the right film or in the right show.
And she did great in this role. Like all the actors were really good. Willem Dafoe fucking killed it. She killed it. Everyone did really good in this movie. It's just like what I really struggle with is that it's like I got out of this film after again, it did not help that everyone was like, it's the best movie of the year. It's the best horror movie of the year. It's the best movie that's existed since moving pictures existed.
Since The Lighthouse. And it's like, that's a kind of a stretch. Or The Witch. The Witch is really good as well.
I want to see those movies now because I thought this was just okay.
Oh man, The Witch is really fucking good. Like definitely one of my favorite folk horror movies ever. and I really like The Lighthouse. It's like a retelling of Prometheus.
The Lighthouse is excellent.
Yeah.
I
You know, you like My Lobster or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
like
know you
My
be liking
Lobster.
My Lobster.
I
The euphemism for his dick.
Great.
I watched this movie though, and I really just like when my girlfriend and I walked out of it, we were kind of just like, what? Okay. And we were just
So-
trying to make sense of this.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna have to do that thing when I talk about movies where I move the mic arm up and I stand up and I actually have to like pace in place, as I
Yes.
call it, while I try to make sense of this. The theme of this movie, GC, is that definitely don't fuck Dracula.
Yeah, it's a
Of course.
subversion of the story of Dracula, because a lot of people have associated like romance with the myth of the vampire, and this really leans into it, more in terms of like the consumption of blood, vampirism being an allegory for sexual assault.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
that's I read a book about that was sort of like breaking down like characters in literature,
Mm-hmm.
and it had a section on Dracula, and it was like Dracula, like the story of Dracula is literally about like an older guy preying upon a younger woman for
And xenophobia and
various
racism,
things.
fear of Romanian men fucking
Yeah.
your wives, like that's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Like it gets it has like themes of that. So I'm glad this movie is like, you know, trying to like actually bring
So-
that back without all
See-
the racism.
So it doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing, is where for me it kind of falls flat, is that it really doesn't do a good job of explaining any of, is it Helen or Ellen, the main character?
I couldn't even
If you
tell
could
you.
call her that.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
for real.
Yeah, I just call her Mina because that's who she's supposed to be.
She
Yeah,
is.
DC, for reference, this is just a retelling of Dracula 1992.
Okay.
Cullen hasn't seen it, but
She-
we should watch it.
She is a character who I really like what they wanted to do with her, but I do not think she has enough screen time really
Absolutely.
to make that entire bit work.
It
so
was
I'll-
about her, but it also wasn't about her.
It was a lot about the men around her,
Yes.
which the movie is like, I'm seeing some very like well-meaning and very articulate takes about this, where it's like, and that's where you could maybe say that's the point,
Mhm.
where the whole thing is about how like the men around her aren't really listening to her until it's too late.
Yes.
Except Willem Dafoe, who's the best character in the movie. He's super down for whatever basically
Mhm.
right away and believes her. But like a lot of this movie is just about the men in her life running about and getting mad
and
and wasting a lot of time
and dying.
and dying. Yeah.
Yeah, because they just don't want to believe the myth or the curse of Count Orlok, which again, allegorical towards maybe not believing like rape survivors and stuff.
Mhm.
I just wish the movie was more like actually about her.
Yeah, and it's bad enough where I legit walked out of the theater like not even having picked up the idea that it was meant to like oh, of course upon like reflecting upon it more, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I didn't even really get like the idea that she was supposed, like it was supposed to be an allegory for like being groomed or like her being SA'd. Mostly because it's like they barely touch on that. Like literally the closest we get to that is a dream sequence at the beginning of the movie that doesn't really say much of anything, that immediately goes, and then 6 years later, and that's it. Like
it's something you're supposed to ruminate on, but and I wouldn't even say that it would be better if it was more explicit. But again,
No.
because there's like a lack of focus on her character, and it's more about the people around her. I guess also being like, you're a woman, you're hysterical, which 1800s men would
Yeah.
just say that. That it's just, I don't know. It's there's a lot to be inferred from that movie, and I think what people take away from that, like whether you, I guess, walk away from it feeling satisfied in its narrative and how it addresses things again like sexual assault and uses that through the story of Dracula to convey that message, totally fine. It's just I think it wasn't well paced. It felt too short actually. because the focus wasn't on like the right
the interesting
things.
character.
Yes. It is again a movie about a woman that is about men.
Yes, and that's the part that really bothers me, is that any of these interesting ideas kind of go by too quick for you to really ruminate on in the actual movie itself. So the movie, like, it's a pretty fun movie to like think back on, but I also don't think there's enough details and like fun, or not fun, but like interesting ways it explores these ideas. Like when you're actually watching it, and it really feels like someone got involved and cut out a bunch of stuff. Apparently there is an extended cut that either will exist or does exist now. I would be interested in watching it if it is substantial enough to really flesh out a lot of the things I felt was lacking.
Yeah, if it's like a 3.5-hour movie and it's well made and it's paced well, I would watch it. Let me see how long the Dracula 1992 is, because that movie was definitely long. It's really fucking good though. It's only an hour and 30 minutes, but it feels like a complete story.
Because from what literally like the picture you showed me, it seems like Dracula is a character, which is another thing that I think this movie fucked up on, is that like Orlok Dracula is not a character.
Yes. And also, in that 1992 one, I would actually say, it's Francis Ford Coppola, and he has a lot of problems with him. But there is a greater focus on the women in that movie than there is the men. Yeah, it bounces back and forth between like Keanu Reeves getting tortured in Dracula's fuckhouse. But there is a clear focus on Mina Harker and her friend Lucy that you're just kind of like, okay.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Does the 1992 movie primarily take place in like one location?
It takes place in Dracula's castle and then in England. It bounces back and forth, but like for example,
I would have loved a movie where basically all of it took place in Dracula's castle. Which you couldn't do with this because Dracula's castle is a dump in this movie. I was, after a while I realized that like thematically I was getting nothing out of this movie. So I started just thinking about Dracula and his plan, which is kind of dumb and bad.
He just wants to continue abusing her. He's just an abuser, right? Like
he's sadistic.
No, and I get that that purpose of it. Like, I know what they were trying to do, but I was just starting like at a certain point to just be like, all right, Dracula, so your plan is step 1, get her husband to come to you. Step 2, sign some stuff in another language and have him sign her to you. Step 3, not good enough. You need her to also give her to you. Step 4, overnight yourself. FedEx style in a box with another box full of rats. You bring the plague in this boat. Step 5, infect the whole town with plague. Step 6, show up and be like, hey, can I abuse you?
Well, I think this is called Nosferatu, but it's not Nosferatu, because I remember the original Nosferatu is not Dracula.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to call him Dracula because it's funnier.
Well, it's the thing is that the movie takes heavy inspiration from Dracula as well.
Yeah. Actually, I was fucking wrong. This is, Nosferatu, the original Nosferatu from 1922, is Dracula without Dracula's name because Stoker didn't want it associated with it. The Stoker estate was like, you can't use Dracula's name. It's one of those things, yeah.
Okay.
And this actually plays the new Nosferatu movie actually is pretty like 1-to-1 with it from what I'm understanding. Whereas in Dracula 1992, Mina fucking kills Dracula.
See, that's the kind of shit where it's like, I think I would have enjoyed that as a movie better because and that is something I heard, that it was a very faithful remake to the original outside of fleshing a couple things out. It means that your final, and I feel bad that we're kind of like spoiling this movie that just came out, but also it's based off a 1922 movie.
Yes.
Who cares?
Also, I sent you an image of Dracula in his armor in 1992.
Oh, he's got so much Riz. That's
Yeah.
another complaint. And this is probably gonna sound terrible. Your Dracula needs Riz. I need to understand how this guy was able to charm this woman, because without that, I just go, wow, okay, so you're a monster fucker, which, no shame. You've got really bad taste in monsters. This guy had no Riz. He didn't have a character, so I was wondering, it's like, how did this guy win you over?
Vampires are able to charm people.
Yeah,
I
know
that.
And in this case, he had started abusing her when she was a child, and she never broke free of that, basically. So he doesn't need Riz because he's just a continual abuser in her life.
I think it would have made him more interesting if he was
hot, like Aaron Taylor Johnson, who fucks
he was
a corpse
hot
in this, but
he does fuck a corpse in this.
Yes.
I just he was not interesting. And I think that's my problem. And you can do this story and have Dracula be interesting.
I understand your problem. It's not that he did not have Riz, is that he did not Riz you, the audience member, up.
Yeah.
No, I want to buy it. I want to go this guy's
So
fucking dangerous.
He needs to be charismatic in the way those people are.
Mm-hmm.
It would have made for you're right. I need to watch this 1992 Dracula movie, because it seems like that is just the movie I wanted.
That's the one with Gary Oldman in it, right?
Yeah, Gary Youngman, because he's pretty young in that movie.
Yes, he is pretty young in this one.
And it's
so
just
good.
and again, I say all this knowing that what they're trying to do, and I don't think it's a terrible movie. I was just kind of I was left with a film that thematically, I don't think this movie delivers on its themes ultimately, and I think it's way too easy for it to get lost. And again, the men walking around and going what's that noise? But
I refuse to believe in the curse. It's not real.
It's
your wife is hysterical. Fuck her.
It's I finished that movie and I went, okay, you're right. It is bad that happened. Do you have anything to tell me that I didn't already know? No. It's just that you're saying that's bad and you're pointing at it and you're going, isn't that bad? And I go, yeah, and they go, it's bad. That's bad that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Don't fuck a Dracula.
It doesn't, in a sense, I suppose you could say perhaps it doesn't modernize the tale to be more relevant to our understanding of these things in our current day.
Yeah. If you were going to have a story about Dracula grooming this character, it would have been interesting to see how when I say how that happened, I don't want to say show us the details from, but convey this in a way that's not so muddled. Really go for it. Make it a story where it feels like she has agency.
Yes.
Because the story we got is the tale of a woman who just at some point 5 years ago fucked Dracula in the woods, and then at the end Dracula, she has sex with Dracula again, and then he dies, and then she dies, and then everyone goes, that sucks. Oh,
yeah,
well.
she basically offers her body as sacrifice and her life to stop the curse, which if everyone had believed her, that wouldn't have gotten to that point. But it's just JC, you wouldn't like it because it's a tale of miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a tragedy in the sense of no one cares about what's happening to her. It's a tragedy in the sense of people are just what? I don't get it. Or
I don't believe this. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I think it's go ahead.
No, I was going to say in the wild thing is by the end, it's everyone believes it.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough time at the end of people believing it where it kind of just feels like we're wasting time. And again, after everyone's all on the same page, no one they make the choice to have the main character just not talk to any of the people actively trying to fight Dracula. And like, and I
also,
know
there's no
that
Van Helsing, so it's a worse version.
Oh, there's a Van Helsing in the other ones?
Van Helsing is a character in the Stoker novel.
Oh, then that would have been way better.
And he's also canon to some Castlevania game.
Does he have Riz?
He's basically the Witcher.
Yeah, he has Riz.
We should watch the Van Helsing movie.
I'm so frustrated because I don't want people to go, you just didn't get it. And it's like, I got it.
You can get different things than other people when you watch media, when you consume it or whatever. I know people's like, don't say consumption, that's bad. And it's like, no, we are eating it, we are consuming it in some way.
Oh no, this was
it's not a dirty word.
No, this was consumed. This was consumed dirtily.
If I may.
Yeah.
The movie could probably be trying to like tell a story of like, like even with the best intentions, like the people who are accosted by this sort of thing are the ones that suffer the most. And ultimately they always have to make like the biggest sacrifices in order to prevent people from doing that sort of thing again and stuff like that. But like, if that isn't conveyed strongly enough, it does sort of like, it lacks impact, I suppose.
Yes. And that is like, I'm not confirming your theory because I want you to watch the movie, but like the biggest problem with the movie is that it doesn't convey what it believes in a satisfying way. And by the time you're done, you go, oh, that's it.
I guess it's like, for me, the thing is like, sometimes I'll watch something and I'll completely understand what they're getting at and I'll be on board with it, but I'm not really like compelled. Like it doesn't move me.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like very important. And I guess that's like something worth pointing out is like, sometimes art can have like powerful things to say, but not say them in a powerful way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unlike the next movie that we're going to talk about, Kraven the Hunter.
I didn't watch this one.
Oh my God. Cullen, it's probably one of the worst movies I've ever watched in my life, but it's fascinating. It's fucking fascinating.
Hang around me long enough and we'll see about that.
Oh no, Cullen, it's terrible. I mean, so the history of this movie is that it's basically stitched together from 3 different movies. Like Sam Raimi was going to make a movie with Kraven as the villain before Fox's Spider-Man got shit canned. I think this movie's been in development for like almost 20 years.
That's pretty sick.
And they basically like ended up just pushing it out. If you don't know who Kraven the Hunter is, GC, can you explain who Kraven the Hunter actually is in the comics?
Kraven the Hunter is part of Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, or he's most commonly attached to Spider-Man, and he is essentially a hunter of exotic and wild game. So that's his whole shtick, and eventually he gets bored of hunting animals. He gets bored of doing that, so he starts to hunt people. And then he gets bored of hunting people, and he goes, wait a minute, I live in a world where superheroes exist. So his introduction, or my introduction to him, is he kidnaps Spider-Man, takes Spider-Man to like an island, and he says, Spider-Man, I'm going to hunt you. And then Spider-Man has to like hunt the hunter.
It's based off of that one short story, right? Like that's kind of the gist of his character. Where the rich guy invites a bunch of his friends to his island and then he starts killing them systematically because he's insane.
It's the Most Dangerous Game.
Yes. Yeah.
He's basically like based off the Most Dangerous Game.
Yes. Yeah. Well, if you wanted to watch Kraven the Hunter for that character, good fucking luck, buddy, because Kraven is a tortured soul whose mafioso father bullied his younger brother for being weak, and he couldn't stand to see that and didn't want to inherit his father's crime ring. So he ran off after being mauled to death by a lion and being revived by a child, Callisto, and ended up becoming a Disney princess and communicating with the animals and killing mobsters and criminals. It's kind of fucking insane. This could not be further from the actual character. Calypso is in it, and I like this version of her a lot better because she's not like a gross stereotype of a Haitian woman. She's not like a voodoo doctor or anything, even though they are like, yeah, you're mystical because you can foresee the future in tarot cards and you have this potion that can revive people from the dead. And that's what gave Kraven his animal powers, where he can like see people from really far distances like an eagle.
Oh my god. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh my god. He's the main character from Hot Rod. Oh my god.
Yeah, except
Spirit
it's
of the Eagle.
yeah, except it's like okay. So Sony uploaded the first 7 minutes of Kraven on YouTube, so listeners, you can watch it. He basically gets himself imprisoned in a Russian carceral facility in Siberia to kill a mob boss, which he does with the tusk of a tiger skin rug inside of the mob boss's office, because I guess he's operating from inside of his prison. Stabs him in the neck, runs on all fours to get out of the prison, like a fucking animal, escapes into the Siberian wilderness. A CGI wolf growls at him. He looks at it and it slinks off. And then he goes to Russia again to protect his animals from poachers, like water buffalo for some reason. I don't know why there are water buffalo in Russia.
Sounds boring.
No, Cullen, it's fucking insane. Like, it just jumps all over the place. Like, suddenly he's in London talking to Calypso, and he's like, if you just give me a list of criminals, I'll kill them. And I think, I couldn't predict what was going to happen in this movie, Cullen. Like, I'm going to give you a scene, okay? And you're going to guess what happens. He meets with Calypso, right? And she's clearly supposed to be his love interest. Mm-hmm. So he's in London, and he's scaling a building, and he goes inside of a penthouse. The door's open. He turns it, goes inside, hears someone showering and smirks. Who do you think is in the shower?
Kazuma Kiryu.
No, seriously. Who do you think is in the shower?
Spider-Man.
No. Okay. There is no Spider-Man in this movie.
Peter Parker.
No, there are no Marvel MCU people, are there?
How the fuck am I supposed to know?
No, the Rhino is in it, but he has psoriasis and it makes him really strong.
The Rhino's in the shower.
Are you telling me the Rhino's powers in this movie is because he has really bad psoriasis?
Yes, kind of. He has really bad skin condition, so he goes to some fucked up doctor in New York that's part of Spider-Man's universe, gets experimented on, and then he can make his skin really hard and he grows like a horn. Is it the
doctor who becomes the lizard?
No, I don't believe it's Dr. Connors.
Okay.
But the person in the shower is his brother, who he jumps on when he gets out of the shower.
God damn, bouncing and moaning on it already.
It's really fucking bizarre, because I was like, oh god, here we go. He's gonna go to Callisto's place and it's just gonna be whatever. And I was just, every time something happened, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching right now. His whole thing isn't about saving his girlfriend or anything like that. She's actually kind of pretty cool. She saves him with a bow and arrow or whatever. It's saving his weak, demure brother, who is Chameleon, who just copies.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, his brother's Chameleon, but they have a really good relationship, which is kind of weird because I know in the comics they don't, because his brother's viewed as inferior for being a bastard. But his brother is a singer at their father's nightclub. It's really I don't know. It's weird. The whole thing is fucking weird. Again, it's 3 or 4 different movies just mashed together, and it just doesn't make any sense.
I was going to say, you can tell that this is fragments of different treatments all slapped together.
Yes.
Because the way you describe it, it sounds like it's here's the beginning of the first movie we had in mind. And then we're going to do we're going to move on to the second movie bits. And now we're going to find ways to throw in stuff from the first movie into the second part.
Yes.
To try to connect them together. But then ultimately those connections mean nothing.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a superhero movie, a mob movie, and just some slapstick shit. He doesn't even
sounds like it has ADHD.
I don't. It's fucking weird. I don't know.
It's really unfortunate that they didn't just tell a movie of Kraven the Hunter and the Chameleon teaming up to take down the Russian mob. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, just, I don't know, stop their father, because that's what Kraven is doing, right? He's killing other Russian mafioso in London and shit.
Are you implying that there's anyone intelligent at Sony Pictures to make said movie, GC? Of course there's not.
No, come on. I mean, there's got to be somebody.
No. Have you seen the last couple Sony fucking fake Spider-Man movies?
I've seen Madam Web, and I will say I think Kraven is more enjoyable than Madam Web because it's just so fucking weird. Huge disappointment though that Aaron Taylor Johnson, super hot, not shirtless enough. Doesn't wear
Oh,
his Kraven
bummer.
outfit until the end.
The lion head
Yes.
jacket.
Yeah, he literally
You gotta
wears it at
watch,
the end after his father gets
stupid.
mauled to death by a bear that he knew was in the woods, because that's his revenge for him bullying his little brother. And his dad's like, "You're just like me now. You're just like a real piece of shit. Anyways, have this lion pelt." It's I don't know. It's fucking bizarre. Cullen, I think you'd like it because it's so bad and it just sticks with you. Like,
This just makes me want to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, you
isn't
should
he in?
play.
Isn't he in Spider-Man
You should
2?
play Spider-Man 2 and then get disappointed.
He's in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, Jake likes
should
that
play
one too.
GC,
Yeah.
when Spider-Man 2 comes out on PC, are you going to play it and then tell us what you think about it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I got to finish Miles Morales first, but yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, everybody. Just a fun fact. He is literally the reason he's one of my greatest inspirations.
And yet you haven't finished Miles Morales. Are you implying that Miles isn't Spider-Man, GC?
I do not have the swagger of, sorry, I'm not going to do
Yeah,
that.
sorry, yeah.
I actually feel really bad for that reviewer.
What's the difference?
Yeah, because that reviewer was like also black.
Yeah.
So,
Like he
Yeah.
was literally sharing his personal experience and people made him a fucking shit post and made fun of him for it. I was like, that's fucked up.
yeah.
But yeah.
You and Jake can bond over that. His favorite superhero is also Spider-Man. My favorite superhero is in DC. Well, not superhero. I would say comic book character is Deathstroke, if that says anything about me.
It says everything about you.
Yeah. So take that
Oh,
as
like-
you will.
Mine is Goku.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Let's
moving
talk
on from
about that.
Craven, let's talk about Dragon
Oh.
Ball.
Actually, I'm
Yeah.
not ready to talk about Dragon Ball just yet. I'm
Yeah.
really still ready to talk about Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh, he's so
Oh, that's
fucking
right.
hot.
Yeah.
He's so
let's
hot.
do it.
I watched Fall Guy,
Oh, he's so fine. Sorry.
and what a beautiful love letter to the crew, like
The
the
craft.
crew
Yes.
and craft that goes into making movies. I don't have too much to say because it's a comedy. You watch it and it's funny or it's not. Just I watched it Christmas Eve. I put it on. I was like, I'll play like a game on my Steam Deck while this is in the background. And I had to put my Steam Deck down because it was such a fun movie to watch. It's really fun to frame that the crazy bullshit like action scenes that happen in movies as something that if we looked at this as real life, only the people who do the stunts in those movies could actually pull off.
Yes.
So it doesn't feel like ridiculous because the movie is grounded. Like it's a comedy, but it's still grounded. But like when you have it like, because when you're seeing these stunt people start doing this like wacky, crazy movie shit, at first you're like, whoa, that's like, why are they doing John Wick shit? And then like you stop and you think about it and you go, oh, because these are the people who would be doing the things while they're
literally
filming
doing the choreography.
while
Yeah.
they're filming John Wick. And it's just you got to watch it cause it's not like the mind-blowing change your life kind of movie. It is
Ryan
a
Gosling is in it.
Well,
Aaron Taylor
yeah, so-
Johnson's in it, so I have to watch
hot people are in it.
Yeah.
It is a movie. It is not a movie where the narrative is like deep and meaningful. It is not a movie that you watch to walk away from going, wow, my life has changed and everything's different and I've got a brand new perspective. It is a movie that you watch if you are interested in like if you are interested in a movie that celebrates the people who make movies and also has fun with being very meta. That is a great movie to watch.
I'll watch it with
Have you
Jake
seen
then.
Bullet Train?
Oh my god, yes. Okay, I've seen that. I watched the movie like 2 times last year. Jake really liked it, and he was like, please, you have to watch it with me. Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it. I was like, fine, whatever, and I fucking loved it. I watched it with
Same
some
director.
friends. Oh, okay, exciting then. Okay.
Yep. As
Okay.
soon because I was watching this, I was like, why is this an action movie that I'm enjoying when I never like action movies anymore? And I looked on Wikipedia, I was like, oh, it's the Bullet Train guy.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
The action scenes are so fucking fun. And the writing is like, despite not being like super deep, it has a very engaging romance between the main two people.
Mhm.
That is also framed in the perspective of like because it's the stuntman in love with the
The
director.
director.
So she is working through all of these rewrites of the script and like where the movie's going, because she's filming like a sci-fi action romance. And that's so them kind of trying to get back together is also like played up alongside them rewriting this script. So they're like, they'll have these calls and they'll go back and forth, and they'll also do fun stuff with like the shot composition and how they're conveying this information as the characters have these discussions. And like, I love a movie that reacts to what the characters are saying in a visual way.
Yeah, it's like when I talked about the movie in the a couple episodes ago, where it's like that split screen scene is really fun.
It's a fun movie. It's not going to change your life, but it's a fun movie, and I cannot believe it bombed.
But
crazy.
If you want to watch a movie he's in that also has crazy set production and stuff, watch Anna Karenina, the 2012 one by Joe Wright. The way that they move the scene around, like the scenes, is so interesting because they basically film it as though it's a stage play. So people will literally be pushing like parts of the set around in the background as like part of a choreographed dance. It's like one of the most beautiful, well-produced movies I've ever seen in my life. And it's, about, punishing women for being adulterers and shit and how men go unpunished. It's pretty good. It's Tolstoy. So yeah. Also, capitalism sucks. You should be a communist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of communism, I also
Dragon
watched no, a movie called Point Break.
Okay. Oh, Point Break. Oh my god, the gay movie?
Yeah. The gay straight movie, which is my favorite kind of 90s movie, where every single character in every single scene wants to fuck each other's brains out.
Yeah.
Like, if you like that era of 90s movies where everyone's just horny all the fucking time. And I'm not saying like everyone like humping all the time. It's like the way they speak to one another and the way they chew the scenery. I'm just like even the
lots of sexual tension.
So much sexual tension. I could feel it from the people behind the camera as well. Like I was just like, God damn, you want me to join in too? Like 20 years later, really? I don't know, maybe. But it's just, I don't really have much to say about Point Break. I was transfixed by this movie. I was just in awe. I was like, whoa, they surf and then they rob the banks and then he wants to fuck the guy who robbed the bank and surf, but he don't.
Well, if you want to watch another like gay vibe movie that actually I think has gay stuff in it with Keanu Reeves, watch My Own Private Idaho, but it's a gay bummer. So like, yeah, you got to be in the right mood to watch it.
What I need to do is just, I need to watch like Keanu Reeves' entire like fucking filmography. Yeah, thank you.
And he's in Dracula 1992.
He is.
I love Keanu Reeves. I love that guy.
He's cool. I like him.
He's so cool.
He's like what I would be if I was a celebrity. I'd just be sitting there like going, oh yeah.
Sitting on a bench contemplating life.
Yeah, eating a sandwich.
Get memed
But I guess besides that, I guess I watched like 80 more episodes of Dragon Ball, so it was whatever.
Okay, but you were like having a lot of fun watching it.
No, it's just 80 episodes in 2 weeks. It's like whatever, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, this is pretty normal. It's pretty normal.
Yeah. Talk about it.
What saga are you on right now?
I am on the Namek saga, so I have finished Dragon Ball right after I think we did our last recording. I forget, GC, if we watched Dragon Ball immediately after that call.
Yes, we did.
I think we started the Piccolo saga.
Yep.
And I became a locked-in, long-time, forever Dragon Ball fan in that session of the Piccolo saga, because I like Dragon Ball, obviously, enough to watch 100 episodes in a month. But like the Piccolo saga and on, including everything like I've seen of Z so far, is just masterful shonen. It is just like you're watching that play out and the stakes rise and the way things have turned so dark. And you're literally going, this is the shonen genre that we know today being born.
Yes, absolutely.
Piccolo is such a really threatening and exciting antagonist for that arc that completely threatens to shatter like what we think of the structures of power of that world. And it's so like they barely just beat this guy. And from that moment on, Dragon Ball becomes a show about just barely making it through these villains. And I really like that after a while of Goku basically just defeating everybody, no problem. It was fun because it like in those first 100 episodes where it was basically just a gag manga, to see Goku just like not even really try to beat these guys. But now it's just like, oh my God.
I mean, he literally fucking dies in the Raditz saga. Like,
yeah, that's the craziest part is like you watch 153 episodes of Dragon Ball and then you get this 5-year time skip of his child being born. Like we're seeing Goku reunite with his friends, which by the way, there was no like Dragon Ball Z big gap between them. It aired the week after and the manga is just called Dragon Ball. So, but like we still acknowledge that like a lot of time has passed between this and Goku's kind of settled down a little bit. He's still like, really strong. He's still training, but he's a dad now. He, takes care of his wife and his kid. And he's like, he brings kid to his old friends and we're seeing like, okay, cool. Like the Goku we knew from that previous saga where he's like fighting Piccolo Jr. because Piccolo spat out a egg baby and he was like, my son, you shall become the most evil man of all. And definitely don't become the uncle of the guy who killed me's kid. Whatever you do, don't become a nice guy, Piccolo. Please don't, son of mine. And so Goku, like right away in Z, it's like, hey, so all this Piccolo shit's done. Goku was an alien.
Crazy.
Like that's why all this shit and like. There's a certain group of our listeners, like, of course, Goku's an alien. Dragon Ball Z is the most popular thing ever. How do you not know
Dragon
that?
Ball also talks about it, that Goku's not from planet Earth.
No, they don't.
I'm pretty sure they do because, like, they show that he was in the pod.
Nope, that was in Z.
Oh. Wow.
It was basically a bit of a retcon where at the beginning of Z, Roshi goes, now that I think about it, your grandpa Gohan mentioned that he picked up a kid from a pod who was very angry until he dropped him on his head. And in Dragon Ball, it's literally just that your grandpa found you as a baby and he raised you and then he died. That's all it ever gets into.
Damn.
So again, that's the thing. If you're going to be into Dragon Ball, you have to accept a couple things. And one of those things is that Toriyama just kind of writes shit off the seat of his pants. He's just like, hey, Goku's an alien.
And I love that. I actually really like that about his writing style.
It's very interesting because, he just goes. He just goes and goes and goes and goes. And for the most part, he does a good job at leaving things open enough to build on them later. Nothing feels like too much of a retcon. Because if you really think about it, it's obvious that Goku was like different, but it really does feel like he was just like, Goku's an alien. All right, cool. Like we need this to keep going. We need like Earth is basically handled for us. Like Goku is the strongest man on Earth. Where do we take this? Well, obviously we go out to space. How do we have Goku, work in this? Goku's an alien. Goku's brother shows up named Raditz, who is definitely like the weakest villain in all of Z, but he's still like Goku barely beats him. And the only reason he can is because Piccolo, like after everyone weakens this guy Raditz out, Piccolo fucking kills him and Goku like all in one.
And then he becomes the father that stepped up.
He becomes the father who kidnaps and steps up. So like literally the next 30 episodes is just this idea that's like, oh, hey, so the strongest guy on the planet's fucking dead. And the guy he only barely beat was transporting all of that conversation to two guys who are even stronger. So you have basically like a 20-ish episode training arc of kind of speedrunning Gohan, Goku's kid, through the process of like what Goku went through in 100 episodes in like 10 and like hardening this child up to like face the real world, while Goku trains in like heaven pretty much. Like it's this race to like be strong enough for these two fucking guys showing up from space who are planning to just take over the world. And after all of this, like all of this time dedicated to training, none of it matters because these guys fucking kill basically all of the Z fighters. They're fucking Piccolo's dead, Tenshinhan's dead, Yamcha's dead, Chaozu blows himself up, just all dead. Like, and they don't even like manage to take out what half of the guy, like one of the guys that like killed all these people. Vegeta does it. And may I say, I love Vegeta. Vegeta is my guy.
He's short. He has short guy energy, just like you.
No, just like GC. He's this angry little man who's just fucking, who thinks he's better than everybody. And he gets humbled by this big, strong guy who comes in his life and shows him.
Comes in his what?
Life, not anything else. Who enters his life and shows him like, hey, small, angry man, you know, some people are better and younger than you. And I'm one of them. And then he, in the period of about 5 episodes, becomes this pathetic, groveling, beat up man. Like Vegeta goes down to earth and is like, I'm going to mug these fucking losers. And all of them like start beating the shit out of him in the same alley he tries to mug them in. And like, it's just this grueling fight where these beat up, pathetic people are just trying to fucking kill the others. And it lasts like 6 episodes of this just grueling fight. And you're just like, oh my God. And by the end, like all of the surviving Z fighters are just fucking just destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Vegeta has to crawl back to his spaceship and escape. The world is fucked because Piccolo sacrificed himself because he is the father who stepped up to an explosion. And in that like moment where Piccolo fucking takes this like shot for Gohan, and you remember the past 75 episodes of Dragon Ball and seeing this character, like seeing his dad, who is the most evil man on the world, like basically create a child to just take on his legacy of hate and evil, and having that man say, no, I am going to live for other people, as he is still like, Piccolo is obviously still going to grow from this further, but like that moment of being like, I give up this thing that my dad basically tried to force and instill into me because I found something better in this world and something worth protecting, which is this kid who looks up to me. Like, even though we have like this weird, like adversary relationship with him, he depends on me, and I actually do care about him. And knowing like where he ends up going is like making this really compelling, and I'm so fucking excited for Namek. Unfortunately though,
wait,
I don't know if I'll get to Namek.
Are you getting to the Frieza saga soon?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, okay.
They just got in the ship to go to Namek.
Wow.
So Frieza's showing up soon, and I'm excited. I'm excited for Vegeta because, again, I've seen like DBZ abridged, so I know like general stuff that happens in Dragon Ball Z. I just don't know what actually happens in the show. So, and by the way, for those of you who's watching this on our first episode, I'm not watching Kai. I am watching Dragon Ball, like as aired, all of the filler, everything just presented as is. And honestly, I love it. I have no issues with the pacing. It's a very engaging show. And especially like Z's slowness does not matter at all if you have seen Dragon Ball. It's crazy to me that people tell you to skip to Z. You should not do that at all. Watch Dragon Ball. Even if it starts a bit rough and it has some parts that aren't like great, you watch Dragon Ball because it is basically the reason why you would give a fuck about anyone in Z.
I mean, yes, but also I feel like the characters in Z are compelling in their own right as well. But please watch Dragon Ball as well.
No, they are. Yeah. But like the new characters are, but there's like a lot of Z is still just hanging out with the crew from Dragon Ball. Like the only one they unfortunately ditch is Launch, which is the biggest fumble of all time. I don't know why they ditched Launch. He was the best.
Launch is there. Launch isn't there, but Yamcha is, you know?
Yeah. But no, it's like the entire cast has hung around. All of the stuff with Piccolo would not be nearly as compelling if you did not go through the Piccolo arc and the Piccolo Jr. arc in Dragon Ball. Like, that just would not have worked for me at all.
Let me know when you get to the Android Saga.
I'm excited. I'm super excited.
I love 17 and 18. They're so fucking good.
The Namek stuff is like apparently 70 episodes, which is kind of crazy.
There are like 4 episodes of Goku just screaming. So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Especially if like it's just going over to have other people talk about it, because that's the best part. That's what they don't tell you when they tell you that Dragon Ball is bad pacing. They don't tell you that those episodes have characters talk, and the characters like the dialogue of Dragon Ball is why I watch Dragon Ball. Like, the action's fun, but the characters are fun. That's like, I just hearing them talk during matches and stuff is fun. Like when Vegeta and Goku are fighting in the Saiyan saga, Vegeta's just talking shit and it's great. Even if like what you're seeing on screen isn't anything like super crazy exciting, it's just like Vegeta is fun.
He's an extremely popular character for a reason, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so like I'm watching this and I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. I get why this became the fan favorite. This pathetic man. I'm so excited to see the domestication of Vegeta. It is going to be the most satisfying thing. I'm like, I loved what they did with Piccolo. What they're going to do with Vegeta, I'm like, I am putting the blinders on to all of his crimes. And I'm like, I can't wait for you, baby girl, to hit the big leagues and have a family.
His character growth is really interesting. And a lot of it stems from his insecurities as not being as strong as Goku, and he uses that to get really strong, and I love that. He's like, absolutely fucking not. I will be better than you, and spite motivates him.
And you get it though, like like I watched that first fight with them, and like the language he's using is so like stuck up. He's like, I'm an elite warrior, and you're a fucking leftover, or like you're a abandoned boy. So the fact that you think that someone as pathetic as you could ever even come close to me is laughable. And you see this over the course of the fight of it being like, ha, you got lucky, to being like, what the fuck is going on? And you see this man in a period of like 2 episodes go from this, because up to that point, before Vegeta actually starts fighting, he's just this stoic, like smug bastard who you're like, this guy's fucking cool. This guy blew up a planet by himself with just a flick of the wrist. Like, this guy he's talking the talk and he's fucking walking it. And you see what Goku does to him, and you get why he gets a fucking complex about this.
Yes.
For the rest of the show.
I would say even well into like the end of Z. Yeah, into Super. Super, yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Super. I'm probably going to watch Super. I know, like, I put some feelers out. I was like, should I watch Super? Knowing I was probably going to watch Super anyway, because I was curious. And so many people are just like, oh, don't watch dog shit, or don't watch this or that, or only watch this. And some of it's good, some of it's bad. And I'm like, honestly, I feel like I'll just like the people, like the characters hanging out. I think I'll just like the dialogue, even if it's dumb. Like, I'm going to watch up until the end of Z and then consider it's like, okay, this is Dragon Ball. To close the book, it's done. Anything that comes after, it's like, it's whatever. It's just supplemental for me. If it's cool, I'll like it. If I don't like it, I'll toss it out of my brain.
See, and I love that about you, Cullen, because you can enjoy, like, I wouldn't say the worst shit, because that sounds like really negative, but you can find value in things that would otherwise, I would consider like a waste of time. And I like engaging with you in that way. Like, I love to hear what you say about things because of that mentality.
Like, with all the shows and series I've ended up liking, like, there always comes a time where like something is not as good as you might want it to be. And it's just like, I have an understanding of like enough of how the sausage is made behind the scenes to know that like oftentimes maybe this person didn't even want to do this, or like something happened. So I've developed this mindset, just like, take what you like, and as long as the other stuff that sucks, like, doesn't absolutely piss all over that. Like, if it's just like a second season or something that sucks, or something like a sequel that sucks, it's like, that's not going to affect what I like, or at least in most instances, it's not going to affect what I thought about the original if I really liked that. And if the sequel makes it better, that's even great. that you get two good things. It's just the easiest way to enjoy things, truthfully. This has been a Cullen Yap cast.
And I love that because I love it when you yap. And I feel like, again, you're a really easy person to bounce off of. You know, just GC and I chiming in when you have your little moments.
I like Goku.
Yeah.
Goku's strong.
Goku is your friend or whatever.
He is I really like the choice made to have Goku be the problem solver, which with the acknowledgement that you made a guy that's too strong and is always getting stronger and always training to be the problem solver, that means you have to push him off to the side and let your cast actually breathe and progress the story, which is the one thing I think Dragon Ball kind of struggled with. Because any points where it's Goku by himself, for the most part, just aren't as interesting. So the fact that like literally for most of the saga that just happened, like Goku was training in heaven and the rest of the characters were trying to get ready and the rest of the characters did most of the Saiyan saga fights was interesting because it's like, yes, that is what I wanted. I wanted more Krillin. I wanted more Tenshinhan. I wanted more Yamcha. I wanted, I didn't really, Chaozu's whatever. Glad he blew himself up. I wanted more Piccolo.
Excuse me, what?
It's whatever.
This is one of the things that I will always give Toriyama credit for. Something that I find is really present in Dragon Ball that I don't actually see present in a lot of other shonen that I've seen, and most of the anime I've watched is shonen, is that Toriyama seems to have an understanding of like how to tell a story.
Yes.
And how to make different characters in your story compelling and how to make the stakes compelling. That idea of brushing Goku to the side or setting Goku aside in some way to give other characters an opportunity to have a moment to like flesh them out, to create, you know, an urgency to perhaps getting Goku back, right? To give like impact and stakes to what's happening and what Goku is doing at any given time.
Yeah.
Right. You do something, right? You kill Goku, or you already know this because it's Dragon Ball, but it's like he'll go train in the time chamber and everybody's got to survive in the meantime. And like, he's going to come back stronger, but you know, you need to hold off. You need to like be strong and do what you can before Goku can show up. This is classic storytelling stuff. You can actually see this sort of thing in like Lord of the Rings. If you watch Lord of the Rings, Gandalf is the most powerful super wizard of all time. Guess what? What do they do with Gandalf? He fights the Balrog and then he disappears for a while so that the other characters have to fend for themselves without Gandalf. Yeah. And and when Gandalf shows back up, it's not a moment of, oh, the story's over. It's like, oh crap, Gandalf's back. What is he gonna do? Is Gandalf enough? I don't know. We'll see. And like that builds a story.
Yeah, they are they are putting Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma in a ship and sending them to go deal with Frieza. Like that, those are stakes.
Those are your heroes.
Those are the people who have to deal with this. Those are like, because Goku is in a full body cast for like a month. He's out of commission. So like, it's interesting. It's like, okay, cool. So like Sensu's like, we ran out of Sensu's for now. Goku's completely fucked up. These characters are going to have to rise up and deal with this. And the stuff they're dealing with is even harder than the stuff we just went through. And these people are not having a training arc. They're just going to Namek. And it's just, it's so fun. It's so fun.
I am of the firm belief that despite everything Toriyama has contributed to the shonen genre, a lot of shonen writers have not really harnessed the same, not even One Piece, and I love One Piece. I like, not even Eiichiro Oda has really harnessed what makes Dragon Ball so compelling and what makes Dragon Ball so interesting to watch. And it is actually like a very strong narrative, like a very strong understanding of how to write a story. how to create impact, how to create a dilemma, how you make the conclusion to your stories feel earned and stuff like that. You were talking about I forget, it was something to do with like, oh, I'm gonna get to the end of this arc, and this is interesting because oh yeah, you were talking about how like, oh, they got rid of the Dragon Balls, but I know they bring them back somehow. And you were like, but in the meantime, like I still feel like, oh, this like people dying matters and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But the best part about that is that the way they bring the Dragon Balls back is also earned. It is not a happenstance of a situation. It is literally like everything they do to get the Dragon Balls back is like the driving force behind everything they're doing, et cetera, et cetera.
What's exciting about it is that like, cause I'm so easily able to put myself in the mindset of someone watching this in the 90s now, is that like, they're like this. So the stakes are, we need to get the Dragon Balls at Namek so that we can bring the Dragon Balls back on Earth and bring everyone back. Cause we need to get our friends back. There are 2 other people on Namek who are gunning for the balls. Just let that sink in. They're gunning for the balls.
Sorry,
they're gunning for those balls.
Balls?
They're gunning for those Namekian balls. But like, so like Vegeta's there trying to get the Dragon Balls, and Frieza is trying to get the Dragon Balls. So it's like, that is an interesting 3-way conflict. And like the people on Namek on our side are like nowhere near as strong as those guys.
No, they're an oppressed people.
And well, I meant like the Earth Squad.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Namekians.
Oh yeah, they're like that's gonna be rough to see as well because Frieza fucks them up. But like,
yeah,
it's that's how you tell a story, and I think it's amazing that like Toriyama, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna criticize Dragon Ball, but it's the one everyone probably knows and agrees with. It's funny that you can like have a story. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is it says a lot of how good of a storyteller Toriyama is that he can make some of the most racist shit I have ever seen in anime.
Oh yeah.
And it is still like the show as a whole is still so beloved worldwide across so many different races and cultures.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's that people who marginalized people who look at art and media have to deal with that stuff all the time. So It doesn't prevent us from enjoying media because we're in a darker tone. We're kind of desensitized to it, but also like obviously there are other things to take from that media. And like we do so in the hopes that it gets better over time. And I think in fairness, I do think Dragon Ball has been better about some of its representations of marginalized people as time has gone on. I think character designs have definitely improved.
And it's kind of why I'm not harping on it too much because I'm like, it's old and I know that he grew as an artist, but I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, there was like a thing in the 80s in Japan that was
when I was showing GC Piccolo, because GC, you had only ever seen the dub, right?
Yes.
This was different. This was, I showed you, I was watching Z with you when you were like drunk off your ass on like New Year's. And after Dragon Ball, I switched to the sub because I knew that the dub for Dragon Ball Z was very outdated and unfaithful. It's generally a very messy dub of its time, like, 90s dub. What do you expect?
At least they're not 90s fan subs, which actually have slurs in them.
Yes.
They're really bad.
But we both found out that the dub does a lot of justice to soften the blow of Mr. Popo.
Yeah. So
I'll let you take this.
There's nothing you can change about Mr. Popo's design between sub and dub. You're kind of stuck with that, right? So that's a problem. But in the dub, Mr. Popo kind of speaks somewhat like an esteemed gentleman. He's like, hello,
he's very
how
intelligent.
are you? Hello, yes.
The dub gives him a level of respect that does contrast with his design where it I don't want to say it works, but it makes you go like, it
softens the blow. It softens the caricature.
That's really all you can say.
It does. It softens the stereotype. But the sub, if you read the localization, and these are the official ones because you were watching the official ones.
Yes, the sub, I'm using like a fan video, kind like a fan remaster of the visuals, but it is the official subs that are put in them.
So the official way that it is localized, the sub is, and I'm assuming
that's you can hear the dialogue as well. You can kind of get this idea.
He's speaking in broken Japanese, and it is translated like Cullen summed it up really well the other day, where he basically talks like, "Me, Mr. Popo, you Kami, you king of Earth," or whatever, and that's how he talks. Yeah, he talks in broken Japanese, and he talks like that, like caveman speak.
Oh, that's gross.
That's bad.
It's bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's bad. I would actually go ahead and wager that a lot of kids growing up with the dub probably weren't really aware that Mr. Popo was an offensive stereotype until they were much older. And like that's sort of the thing. That's also the thing about being a marginalized person watching media that may have racial stereotypes about you or someone else, is you don't really know that that's a problem until you get older and you know better, or someone tells you, and then you look back and you're like, oh, that wasn't okay. And that's how it happens, you know?
Yeah.
That would be. But Dragon Ball, very good, despite it all. And again, I have my complaints. I'm not sitting here being like, it's the perfect show and there's got no issues. Of course it does, but it's just also a very compelling one overall.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's like, they need to put Dragon Ball in museums if they haven't already.
I'm sure they have.
It's
one of the most influential pieces of pop culture.
It is foundational.
I always believed, like, when Toriyama passed, like, and you know, people were talking about how influential he was, like, I always believed it. Oh, excuse me. I always believed it because, you know, I'd played Chrono Trigger, I love Dragon Quest, and I know of Dragon Ball, but you actually sit and watch it and you go like, oh, this changed everything.
Yeah. If you want a really good way, write, like if you want to write comics, if you want to write stories, watch Dragon Ball, read Dragon Ball, fine, but also go look into what Toriyama's inspirations for Dragon Ball were, and then go read, watch, etc. those things. I don't think enough people do that, and I actually think a big problem with like some newer anime, a lot of like newer shonen, and like what the reason like a lot of shonen falls flat for me is like it doesn't fall flat, but like it lacks a certain something, is because I think a lot of shonen is like influenced by the shonen the writers or the creators grew up on, but they don't do the extended sort of like look back to be like, well, what inspired the things that I like? Let me go look at those things and study them and like figure it out. Yeah, go do that. It's good.
I like Dragon Ball good.
I really want to read Journey to the West.
Why don't you just play Black Myth Wukong?
You said that on purpose.
Steam Game of the Year, according to everyone on Steam.
I mean, I can understand why it is, because it allows votes, obviously, internationally, and that game was a huge hit in China.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I have an interview coming out with the developers for Phantom Blade Zero, and when I talk to them, like, not to talk about Black Myth Wukong or whatever, but, like, that game has legitimately changed the Chinese games industry in terms of market and what games developers are allowed to, I wouldn't say allowed, but get funded now, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I talked about this in the podcast before. I'm not sure if I did. But the success of Black Myth Wukong cannot be understated in terms of how culturally relevant it is. So I don't know. I think it deserves the accolades it gets, not for the game it is and for the studio, but because of like this historic victory for an entire country.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I have like no interest in the game itself. I've looked into it. It doesn't seem like my kind of thing.
It's
but like,
super
I
linear
think it is,
and you can cheese it. It's really not all that hard.
It's just, it doesn't seem like I would get anything out of it. But like, again, if it means that more games, like creative, like really cool new Chinese games get, greenlit and
outside
like,
of mobile and live op, then
then that's
that,
like, we'll have to wait and see. I hope it's not just a bunch more generic Souls likes. I'm really sick of playing those kind of games. I'm super done, but like
I wouldn't
I
even
hope-
consider Black Myth Wukong a Souls-like. I think that's super misleading. In terms of like,
that's just what I heard.
it's not. I reviewed it. It's not. It's just like a linear action game where you die and then you respawn at a shrine and enemies respawn.
Yeah, I don't like that though.
Yeah, it's again, I wouldn't consider it a Souls-like at all. It is what it is. It's a step forward for an entire region that gets maligned purely because of its government.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So we will
Very
see.
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also,
that
listeners,
reminds
this does
me
not
of-
make me a Black Myth Wukong apologist. I'm just stating the fucking facts. So
I I don't know. I didn't do anything between last episode and this episode. I am rubbing my nose. Sorry. I played some Marvel Rivals.
hell yeah, we sure fucking did.
We did.
You're so fucking good, by the way. Yeah, you're really good
not
at
that
Marvel.
good.
No, you're very good at Marvel Rivals.
Thank you.
Shout out to GC's Mantis for knowing when to damage boost certain characters, fucking one-hitting people with body shots on Black Widow.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really do anything. I don't have a lot to talk about. I did a lot of writing. I've got like 3 scripts that I'm working on. So if anyone cares, be interested in that, I guess. I can't wait to upset people with it. That's not true. I don't want to upset anybody with it. I just know that people are going to be upset with it. And honestly, it's been a slow couple of weeks, folks. I mean, holidays were around.
Mhm.
I spent so much time with my family, more time than I cared to. That's a joke. I like my family. They're okay.
You
they're
were
all
posting
right.
the best shit on Blue Sky on
Oh, yeah,
on New Year's. You were so fucking funny.
I can cut a rug like nobody's business.
You really need to come to LA, both of you, because LA is apparently the only city where you can salsa dance every single day of the week.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm never going to California again, but wow.
I'll drag you.
I'm gonna create a scenario where like your livelihood is dependent on you going to LA.
And I'll be like, well, I guess I'll die.
Cullen, if I was
Guess I'll
dying,
die
would you not come to LA?
No.
Oh my god.
Because I know I would show up and you'd be like, just kidding, COVID attack, and you'd give me COVID.
This is such a weird association you have
I got COVID.
with COVID in California.
I got
Like
COVID
it
in
makes no
California.
sense. It makes no sense. I got COVID staying at home all day. Like
I haven't gotten COVID in Virginia.
You
I
also
got
went
in
to
California.
Disneyland.
you went to Disneyland.
I was probably on that, like when I landed off
Also,
that
you
damn
don't even
plane.
know if you had COVID.
I don't. It's
You
bad
just
vibes.
you keep telling
Bad
people I
vibes.
got COVID in California, but number one, you never found out if it was COVID or
It
not.
scares them away. It keeps them safe. Keeps them safe, and you should be safe. You should be very wary when you go to California. Don't go to California. They give you COVID. And Korean barbecue, that was pretty good. But it was mostly COVID.
You're gonna get COVID at MagFest, and you're gonna be like, "I'm never going to MagFest again." It
No,
gave me
I'll be
COVID.
like, I love Bagfest.
Yeah. So it's not about the COVID anyway.
It's about, no, California, they got super COVID over there. See, Kaz is being quiet because he's like, he found out about super COVID.
No,
It's our
I'm
biggest secret.
I'm writing some
Oh,
work
no.
emails right now.
Yeah.
Dear other members of the shadow Californian government, Cullen has found out about the super COVID. We
Yes.
cannot let this go on. We will not let this episode air, and also we will have him killed.
I'm gonna be really upset with you mashing your keyboard and then accidentally cutting the recording off on your Adobe Audition.
Hold on. Oh, I forgot to record.
Oh,
Are you for real?
No,
okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm a professional.
I saw white just now.
We call that bits, everybody.
Yeah. On New Year's, so Jake was here, right? And I got invited to an Arcane watch party, and like cosplay was like encouraged. I made a whole ass Jace Talus cosplay, minus the leg brace, and that was really
It looked
fun.
good.
I'm really getting back into cosplaying now, which has been super nice. Being
Sick.
offline
Yeah.
and reading books.
I speaking of cosplay, I bought Cullen was posting pictures of Dragon Ball.
Krillin, are you
And-
going to be Krillin?
He's going to be Krillin at MagFest.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna try to get an outfit together. Unfortunately, the outfit he wears that I want to get, there is no jacket like that. Akira Toriyama, fuck you, man. Like, why do you keep drawing like, why did you draw so many characters in like super cool fits that just don't fucking exist?
Toriyama's sense of fashion is kind of unparalleled.
Bad man. That's all you got to see.
I don't remember a shonen being that fashionable. Like since then, only thing I can think of is like Bleach.
I mean, the outfit you just posted of Krillin looks like something that I would see on Soul Train, GC, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what Soul Train is, Cullen? Or are you too young?
Fuck off. No, I don't know what Soul Train is.
So it was basically a program where they would play a lot of music from like hip hop, rap, things like that. It was basically just a bunch of people dancing in like really fashionable like street clothes.
Neat.
So we just got to find you like a 90s outfit, GC, with like white. Is he wearing slacks or sweatpants? Sweatpants, right?
It looks like the bottom of a gi.
Oh, yeah, then just that and like a yellow and green bomber jacket.
It's just hard to find it in like that style. I keep looking for it, and I keep getting recommended
sports coats,
varsity jackets. Mm-hmm. It's annoying.
Damn.
I want that jacket. I have a friend that's like, he's really good with like fabrics and stuff. Like he made a what's his name? Nero's coat from DMC5.
Yes. Yeah. I got to wear the actual replica of that.
Ooh.
Yeah. So my friend made a replica of that is basically 1-to-1 the same jacket.
Hell fucking
and
yeah.
It's really cool. So I might ask him to just do it for me. Probably not in time for MagFest, but honestly, I think I might just get that outfit and just wear it casually because, like, damn, dude, shit looks sick. But yeah, nothing to report on the GC front. New Year's was great. Crimbus was great because I think we recorded before Crimbus. Crimbus was good.
Yeah. I had a good holiday.
My sister bought me PlayStation themed playing cards.
Oh, I love that.
And that's it. That's literally it for me. I don't know.
I had a really good 12 days off from work that I just cherished. And now that I'm back to work, I fucking hate it. And I miss my time taking off. But yeah, on my end, Christmas was good. My girlfriend got me a really nice Coach bag to kind of like, as like, not like a big backpack, but just something to kind of like casually like include like my Switch and my Steam Deck when I go out or something. Let's see. My dad, I think I maybe have mentioned this on the podcast before. My dad was born and raised in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom born and raised in like the general like South, but moved all around because like Army brat. But my dad, again, Maine, that was his shit. So it turns out there's a local sandwich shop in Maine that is like really beloved by the people in like Maine itself. It's called like Amato's. And what they'll do is they will, like, if you pay, like, you pay like a good amount of money, they will overnight you a fucking sandwich from this sandwich shop anywhere in the country. So my dad for Christmas overnighted me like 4 sandwiches. Mm-hmm. And it's not like the sandwich is pre-made. It literally shows up and it's like all the stuff to make your own sandwich.
This is the most dudes rock thing I've ever heard.
Despite it all with my father, all the ups and downs of our relationship, he kind of got me one of the best Christmas presents I could have ever like received this year, in stark, steep competition with my girlfriend getting me a Coach bag and a out of print Gundam 00 Blu-ray. Like,
that's insane.
Definitely top 3 gifts I got, if only because I don't want to have to rank it with my girlfriend's 2 amazing gifts. But god damn, this sandwich, the best sandwich I've ever had in my life.
Excellent.
Unreal quality like ingredients in this thing. And you get to make it yourself, so it's so much more satisfying when you eat it and you're just like, oh my god. I had it for dinner.
And it was free.
It was free. That's the best part. I've tried to get it out of him how much it costs, and he won't tell me. So I imagine the answer was too much.
Probably.
But I'm just like, I'm so sad. There's like literally 0 chance. Like, it's not even close enough to Mag where I could bring you a sandwich. It's just like, it's just, you got to know that I had a really good sandwich.
No, I totally get it.
Dreaming of that sandwich.
You're never good. Either of you are never going to be able to have this sandwich.
In South Florida, we had a sandwich place called Sarushi, and it was really good.
I imagine that. Multiple, like Kaioken times 10.
Yeah. Like I totally get it. Like I understand the it's sort of like built into the human brain. When you have like a really good sandwich, you never forget it.
Yeah.
You
It's
never
like,
forget it.
it's fucked up because it's not even something I could just go have. I got to go to Maine to get the sandwich again.
Yep.
But now I'm going to be like, hey, Dad, for Christmas, can I get some more sandwiches?
Father, please, a sandwich.
Father,
I
overnight
crave the
sandwich me.
sandwich. Father, please.
I like it sucks because where I live, there are no like really good ma and pa sandwich shops. There used to be, but now there aren't. So it's all like the generic shit like Jersey Mike's and like Subway.
Yeah.
Like it's all the shit that's like the chain sandwich places, which are fine. They are just okay. If you're craving some mid sandwich, which I'm craving.
Are you?
I'm hunting for some mid right
Honestly,
now.
it's not even like the chain stuff is like it's good. It's not like crazy, but it's good. Like I'm gonna have a good meal. Like it'll hit a spot or something. But like a local mom and pop, like any food, any mom and pop place is just gonna be. Like it's just gonna, even if it doesn't actually, I don't know, it's just the experience. Like it, even if it just tricks my brain, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my brain lying to me and being like, this is better.
I will I will always like, if you put in front of me a Subway meatball sub, that shit's going down in like 5 seconds. It's gonna like for the couple minutes I was eating that be like one of the best things of my life, but I will move on. I will forget it.
Witch?
The pickle Rick?
It's a pickle sandwich.
Yeah.
I'd eat it. I love pickles.
Do
My
they still
dad was
have
trying
it?
to
Hang
warn
on.
me. My dad was like, hey, son, you got to watch out. These pickles, they're not like your normal pickles. They make their own pickles and they're sweet and sour at the same time. And I'm like, father of mine, you don't know how much of a fucking eater I am. I eat. You put shit in front of me and I eat it. I am the biggest eater I know. I don't think GC got to witness my level of eating last time we went to Mag.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I saw you eat a lobster roll, buy another one, and go, honestly, I could go for a third lobster roll right now.
It was nothing. It was nothing for an eater like me.
Yeah. I bet you weren't expecting such a hungry guy.
Oh, good. It looks like we will get our next episode out before GC and I meet up in Mag. So next episode will be our last episode.
Forever.
Yeah, before I chokeslam Cullen through a glass
you won't be able to
pane
read
at
me.
Magfest.
Whoa.
Oh, that is...
Pickle Witch.
Pickle, sorry, audio issues. I love eat a pickle. I eat the little pickle. I love eating the pickle. I'm gonna go to Magfest and eat all the pickles. I'm gonna make my own pickle witch. I'm gonna get bread that's soaked in pickles and then rebaked so it's rehardened and then it tastes like the pickle and then I eat the pickle. I put the pickles in the witch and I eat the pickle.
That's great.
Sorry, I'm just like I'm thinking about sandwiches now and
I'm thinking about sandwiches now. GC, why'd you make us think about sandwiches? Yeah, that's right. Cry.
Fuck you.
I'm honestly really excited for Magfest though. I'm just one, it's fun to see everybody. Two, I love taking time off of work.
I would love to next episode. I looked through the Magfest panel schedule. Mm-hmm. So next episode, I would love to have a little moment to just talk about some of the panels that are going to be at Magfest, because I would love to hear your reactions to the titles of the panels. I
am typically not a panel goer at cons. I go sometimes if they're really interesting or to support some homies. But honestly, my favorite thing about Magfest is just the drinking and the eating and the walking and the talking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you just go to see friends, right?
Yeah. Magfest is a party con, so it's like 24/7. It's a
24/7 convention. The dealer's hall doesn't close. The panels don't end. It is, you can walk in at any time of day for the 3 days, for the 4 days, 3 nights that it's on for. So it can be 3:00 in the morning, and you can go to a panel that's being hosted at 3:00 in the morning. You could go to the arcade. You could go to the artists hall and like buy something, leave from the building
artists. and like go see what bars are open.
Yeah, you can lament that there is no karaoke bar, but there is a piano bar, which is the inferior version of a karaoke bar.
So,
I'm
like,
hoping
what
I
are
can
the
get a Marg
requirements to get a
tower.
panel? Because I would love to do Burnout Culture After Dark someday.
I would as well. Really, you just apply and
You
you
just
pray.
apply. You apply,
Okay.
you give them your credentials if you have any, and like some people don't even have credentials and they get it anyway.
It's complete. It honestly feels at random. I got a panel at MagFest once. It wasn't great. You could technically find it if you look for it, but don't. But yeah, you just hope.
Yeah.
You hope and you yearn.
Pick a god and pray. Okay, well, I think maybe next year we should submit a panel.
That might be fun.
Because I'm really confident our podcast isn't going to splinter apart, you know? Because I feel like as hosts, we actually do spend enough time away from each other to where we're not going to end up hating each other.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I
If that
don't
makes
know. I'm a
sense.
couple seconds away from that fucking short
Killing
joke
Cullen?
Cullen gave me the 5
Vegeta?
minutes ago. Made me want to
Vegeta?
fucking
Vegeta? Vegeta?
clip his shins out of his body.
Vegeta? Vegeta? Vegeta?
Yeah, but you two are like, you have like that,
Vegeta?
that best friend thing going on, right?
I guess.
See,
so.
I think the only reason our group survived the winter is that I basically went AWOL from our friend group and watched Dragon Ball nonstop. And I would come back and be like, hey, so I watched another 70 episodes of Dragon Ball. Do you guys want to watch Dragon Ball with me?
our friendship
but I mean,
survived
like-
because we are friends.
Yeah, exactly. But I also think
Well,
this is a good
obviously.
section to talk about friendship, right? And that, like, even with
Yeah.
really close friendships, it's healthy to like not always be with each other all the
Mhm.
time, and to also have lives separate outside of your friendships. Yeah, I consider you guys like super close and everything. And I feel like GC and I are that we relate a lot, and there is that closeness there. And Cullen, I love your whimsy,
I try.
but we're also not like hanging out every day. We're not doing YouTube videos with each other. We have our lives. Cullen, I also was telling Jake this, that like, because Jake was like, I want to hang out with Cullen, but he's always busy. I'm like, yeah, because he dedicates time to his girlfriend, and that's very admirable. Like you dedicate time outside of being online to having an actual life. And GC, you do the same, and you're dedicating yourself to like exercising and studying and everything, right? Like we're all being proactive in our lives in some way. We're not just being goblins online all the time, or just creating content with each other.
Speak for yourselves. I'm a fucking internet goblin.
I mean,
100.
yeah,
Have you
but,
seen
but
my
that's
Blue Sky
like,
feed? Oh my god.
yeah,
GC's like,
Yeah,
I'll
but
see y'all
that's-
back
that's,
on Discord in 5 years, and walks away like Luffy One Piece.
yeah, but it's again, it's like we're not making content with each other all the time.
No,
right?
no, no. We've all
Like,
got
like we're
our
not
own,
exhausting our friendships.
We've all
I
got
hate
our
content.
own. We've all got our own shit going on, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know all that and whatever.
and you know what? That's the fucking power of friendship.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, it's always
Yeah.
healthy to have something you do on your own. I would say, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I save the time I hang out with my friends to like find ways to torture them in completely unique ways. I got really disheartened after I showed GC Gundam Thunderbolt and he liked it, so I haven't found anything dog shit. So besides Dragon Ball, GC and I haven't watched too much together, but I'm cooking something up. I'll prepare something. I'll prepare
Cullen
some.
still won't watch Bang Bravern with me. If you're
I
in
don't
the
recall that
comments
being
and
part of
you,
the-
if you're in the comments and you've seen that show and you think Cullen should watch it with me, you should leave a comment and be like, Cullen, watch it with GC. Do it.
It's crazy how much of a fucking bottom you are because you won't just ask me. You won't just
I
be
have
like,
asked
hey,
you
Cullen,
multiple times.
No, you always be like, we should watch it sometime. You never go,
That is an
"Let's-"
invite for you to say,
No,
yes,
no.
let's do it.
No. You just be like, would you like to watch it on this day? And I'll be like, let me look at my calendar. Evil at this time. You know what? I can pencil you in for this time right here.
I'm going to chop this
Evil?
up as a cultural difference. We don't do that where I'm from.
I like people being direct with me.
Okay, so
I see he's Vegetaing out again.
he is. He sure is. Do we care about current events, by the way? Because something fascinating just happened right now.
Go for it. This episode's not that long, so.
Yeah. So you know who Adrian Dittman is supposed to be, right? Elon Musk.
Bitch boy.
So he was on a stream with this streamer called Connor Eats Pants, who clearly knew he was
Yeah.
Elon Musk. And what's super funny is I was like watching some clips while we were talking about sandwiches and stuff, is that he doesn't even use a voice changer. You can tell it's Elon Musk. And, like-
They've been posting
Yeah.
some of his the Twitter spaces he's been in.
Yes.
On Blue Sky, and it's just him. And even
Yeah,
the
gassing
conservatives
himself up as well.
and the conservatives in the call with him are like, dude, you're Elon. Like, obviously you're Elon. It's like, oh no, I'm not as cool as Elon, and I don't have as much sex
I'm
as
20
Elon.
years old, and my name is Adrian Dittman, and Elon Musk is my hero because he fucks a lot and he gets so much pussy.
Well, it's, and like, what the funniest part is, like, if you've ever heard this dipshit fucking speak, he has the most distinct dipshit voice on the planet. He's like, you see, Elon, he is actually the pussy master. He's the pussy, he gobbles, gobbles the pussy up, and I do not do
Musk posting under this pseudonym on 4chan because, of course, see,
here's the part. Oh my god.
Here's the thing about an alleged narcissist like Elon Musk. Narcissists, right? They can't just be anonymous on the internet, right? Like people like that can't just be anonymous. Like 4chan is an anonymous board. People post there anonymously.
And he literally like posted under a fucking name.
Exactly. He could not, this guy couldn't be anonymous and just say the shit that he wanted to say. He had to put a name to it so that people would recognize him and he could gain recognition off of posting on 4chan. That's how fucking pathetic it is. And he wrote the sentence, Elon is a father who gets lots of sex.
I don't think there could be a man as like allergic to pussy as this man.
Oh, he has 10 kids. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, it's like there's a reason why it's all different wives. It probably only takes once to realize, like, oh no, like the money's not worth that. Jesus, like he is the most like bitchless man in the galaxy right now, and everything he's done in the last couple years has just made him more and more hateable to more and more people, and like his audience of like sycophants and simps is increasing the more fucking pathetic he gets, and this fucking Dickman character is just even more pathetic, and he keeps like outing himself as this definitely being him, like with the 4chan thing. On that thread he was in, he literally just posted screenshots of like admin like view of Twitter, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me, man? And like this fucking like 50-year-old like loser is saying shit on like 4chan like friend. It's like by friends, like FREN, which is fucking friend. Yeah, kek friend, like fucking like 2000 channer speak. You're a fucking pathetic piece of shit.
He's not even using like kek right. It's LOL in World of Warcraft for orcs. Yeah, I think it's so funny that everyone's like, oh god, he's turning into the drill tweet. I'm not owned, I say as I turn into a corn cob.
He's been that for so long.
What is it? The let me read this post to you. Dittman attacks Connor eats pants. CEP defends himself as chill. I got swag, he insists. I'm like Justin Bieber. You know Justin Bieber? You've heard Baby by Justin Bieber? Swag, swag, swag.
I don't know who this guy is. I'm sure he has his own skeletons, but that's kind of sick as fuck.
Connor eats pants. I got
swag.
So for some reason, Connor eats pants like tends to have guests on his streams, and then he kind of like
makes fun of them, right?
He makes fun of them, or at least he's done it a couple times before already, right? I don't know how he still manages to get people to show up on his streams.
I think there's a certain kind of person that loves to be humiliated.
Yeah.
And I think Elon Musk thinks he won't. Well, I think he doesn't think he's going to get humiliated, right?
Elon is like...
He thinks this person is going to think he's so fucking cool.
Like he's going to prove, he's going to like, I guess that's true, right? Like people that show up to Connor's streams are probably thinking, oh, like I'll catch him, you know, like this isn't going to go badly.
Elon is that person, but on accident, because he doesn't want to be humiliated, but he's really good at it. He's the best guy at that, like, of all time. It's kind of crazy.
The fact that he plays Fortnite with the Batman ninja skin tells me all I need to know about him. So he also apparently sucks at the game, like really bad. So
yeah,
we've all seen his fucking Elden Ring build.
Yeah, it's really fucking terrible.
Or the fact that he got banned from Path of Exile.
Oh, for cheating?
Cheated or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, you fascist piece of shit. Stop going after Wikipedia. Suck my fucking nuts, you dipshit. Fucking, I hope you lose everything one day.
The irony to Elon Musk is that all he wants is to be like
Loved.
He wants to be loved,
Adored.
remembered, and recognized, right? He wants to be loved, remembered, and recognized. And it's so easy, Elon Musk. It's so easy to do this. Solve world hunger, which you could do.
I don't know, man. Fascism sounds pretty tasty.
What's
your other ideas?
Solve world hunger.
Okay.
Push for inclusivity. And don't be a Nazi. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. All you have to do is do things that improve the lives of other people. And they would build, if you solved world hunger, they would build a fucking statue in your name, and the statue would exist forever. And in history, people would have to be like, yeah, that's Elon Musk. He solved world hunger. And you would go down in history forever.
People in Connor Eats Pants' channel are asking him to ask Elon Musk about Xanax for some reason. I don't understand, but it's just like a thing they're spamming.
Because I think Elon Musk at some point took Xanax like illegally, or like he like that was his that was like his thing. I think maybe there's been like rumors going around that Elon Musk like uses drugs and ketamine and stuff like that, and instead of like ignoring it, Elon Musk is like, oh, actually it was in a medically controlled environment and it was only small doses. And it's like, okay,
guy is addicted to posting. He will not shut up.
Yeah. Anyway, just putting that out there, Elon. You could be remembered in history for doing something like universally good, but
I think it's too late. I think we're way past that.
No, it's never too late. It's never too late to solve like real world problems instead of pretending like your prejudices and the things that you stew over and seethe about are actual problems.
I mean, maybe after Trump dumps him, he might do something good on accident.
Despite the other guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't know. No. I think like at
Isn't
the
there
moment,
already infighting or something too?
Oh yeah,
like they're blaming each other for each other's issues.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Before like Christmas, with all the government shutdown stuff, where Elon tried to do something like cool and like, or they tried to like play the game and they absolutely fucking failed, and everyone fucking hates them right now.
Who would have thought two egomaniacs wouldn't be able to coexist?
It got so bad, I'm pretty sure that they had to like, the Trump PR had to go put out a statement to be like, guys, Trump's the president. Stop calling Elon the president. Guys, like, stop doing it. It's just pathetic. It's just, the only bit of solace I will get from the next 4 years is seeing this group of people cannibalize themselves from the inside, because they're all pathetic egomaniacs. And like, since they are no longer they can't pretend to be the underdogs anymore, they will have to look for whoever's in power, which is themselves.
I just want to read you this excerpt from the stream.
Mm-hmm.
CEP, do you watch Destiny? Adrian Dittman, yeah, I watch Destiny. CEP, I bet you do. AD, what do you mean? CEP, don't read too much into that. Adrian Dittman, what do you mean? I just sorry, there's something really funny about that. There's just something really funny about, yeah, I bet you do. What do you mean? But yeah, current events. This just dated the episode of the podcast, but
first episode 2025.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, if you want to listen to him getting absolutely fucking destroyed by like a 20-something-year-old, just have a little cheeky listen.
Or read the transcripts if you're like me and hate his voice more than anything in the entire world.
He has such a strange accent.
I've never heard Elon Musk speak.
I'm sure you have.
Oh my god. Okay, we gotta fix that.
Oh, I don't want to be there for that.
I've always read what he said, but I've never like heard him like sometimes I'll watch it, like he's got a video or whatever, then it like someone posts a video of him and it's already got captions on it. I don't unmute because like I don't want to hear his voice.
It's nothing you would expect it to be.
Oh.
It's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to like shame someone's voice, but it's the fact that it's his that I hate it.
Yes.
It's weird. I feel like I grew up with somebody who might as well be Elon Musk.
And his name?
Adrian
Andrew
Dittman. Adrian Dittman. Wow, GC.
Wow, GC, you were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think this episode's gonna be a little short unless we want to go into other stuff. Like I've been reading American Psycho, which is really good.
I
But
got nothing else to say, but if you want to talk
yeah,
about books, that's cool.
I, I'm rereading Oryx and Crake. It's a good book. If you want to understand why my writing style is the way it is, listeners, go read Oryx and Crake. It's basically about it's by Margaret Atwood, and it's a post-apocalyptic story that deals with like eugenics and child prostitution and whatnot. And it's I don't know. I don't want to spoil too much of it because it's just a really interesting read. It bounces back between like pre the end of the world and post the end of the world. And then I'm reading American Psycho, which I don't suggest anybody read if you have a weak stomach, but the prose is really interesting. It's definitely like a satire, like a comedy if you read it. Like I'm going to read this one passage to you and you'll kind of understand like the tone of the book despite it being like super grotesque, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Let me find it. Okay, so so we wouldn't run out of things to talk about over lunch. I tried to read a trendy new short story collection called Walk that I bought at Barnes and Noble last night, and whose young author was recently profiled in the fast track section of the New York Times. But every story started off with a line, "When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie," and I had to put the slim volume back in my bookshelf and drink a JMB on the rocks, followed by 2 Xanax to recover from the effort.
Mm.
So it's just like prose like that I find like really interesting and a bit funny. Yeah, I again like if you if you could not watch the movie American Psycho, do not read the book American Psycho.
I quite like the
Uh,
movie, so maybe the book would be something worth watching or reading.
I think you would like it. Again, like it's the author ended up coming out as gay a little
Mm.
while ago, and he was like, yeah, like Patrick Bateman is like my insecurities over like being like a gay man and stuff, and it's like that interesting to read from that perspective. Um,
Cool.
Cool.
yeah, yeah. And I'm reading The Mirror and the Light, which is the last book for Wolf Hall, and I still got to watch the rest of season 2, but it's not coming out in North America for another few months.
Speaking of reading and writing, I think you recently just wrote
Oh
World of
God,
Warcraft.
Rolling Stone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Huge byline.
big
Yay.
big byline
Congratulations.
timeline.
Yeah.
Was
I
it
really
on?
don't know. Huh?
Was the article? Pitch
Oh,
us.
so the article is about a guild called OnlyFangs, which is comprised of some of the most popular Twitch streamers and content creators.
Bang your
Basically
name.
one and the same. Huh?
I said bang your name.
Yeah. It was founded by Soda Poppin, who I have no real feelings towards. They ended up trying to do this hardcore challenge the first time around, but the participating streamers were getting hard carried by their adoring fans or whatever, so there were no real consequences. Hardcore is if your character dies, they're dead forever and you lose all of your gear and progress, right? This time, guild members couldn't help each other out other than crafting items and trading items and whatnot. And every week, loot would be distributed among each faction. All the streamers had to take a personality quiz, which would then sort them into the 4 factions: Troll, Forsaken, Tauren, and Orc. And they were all expected to be in character as well. So there's this guy Esfon, he's part of OTK. GC, he literally put on like a full cow mask and would stream that way with the headphones over the cow mask ears. And he put on like a southern accent, right? So it was sort of like the commitment to the bit and how this was becoming like really engrossing reality TV in a way. I was calling them my soaps. And that's when the EIC of Rolling Stone reached out and was like, hey, do you want to like write about this? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, let me put it this way. There was always shit happening because there were so many streamers like across multiple time zones. I would go to sleep and I'd wake up and be like, oh yeah, some guy got kidnapped. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Or I'd be just watching it during the day because I ended up spending the holiday with my family and Thanksgiving, and I didn't want to watch like the Ravens versus the Chargers, so I just watched this guild kind of go at it. The trolls were sort of like infighting because somebody had accused someone of nepotism in terms of electing a war chief, things like that, right?
Yeah.
It's a story I told before, but yeah, that's what it's about. It's community focused. It's culture focused, and I have other things that are cooking, but I'm really happy to write about the culture in MMOs because I've realized that MMOs are actually now my favorite genre. So whenever I get to write about them, I get really excited because I love the interpersonal dynamics people have with each other and a lot of the emergent storylines on role-playing servers or people that sort of have to role-play sort of like GTA RP. And I will say, this is a lot less problematic than GTA RP because I was watching GTA RP like quite a few years ago. There was definitely someone role-playing as a serial killer. That shit was insane. Yeah. I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely kept World of Warcraft pretty popular on Twitch, which you can't really define, how successful a game is based on its Twitch metrics. But yeah, very interesting, very cool, very excited that I got Byline and Rolling Stone, because I can finally tell my dad, an outlet that he knows, be like, Dad, I wrote for Rolling Stone, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
we're very proud of you.
Thank you, Father. But yeah, that's that. And strong start to 2025, and I imagine a strong start for the both of you as well.
I hope so.
We shall see. We shall see.
We're still here.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we record next, I will be playing Tales of Grace's F, and that's all I want to live for right now.
I might have a video out about
I won't.
The digestion of international art.
Ah.
Oh ho ho.
Culture, a man of culture, I say, pinky out.
The culturer.
Yeah.
It is going to talk about the way, sort of the differences between the way we look at art that's made from our own culture versus the way we look at international art. Spoilers. A lot of people look at international art like it's a little toy and not like with the same sort of importance that they look at domestic art with.
Exactly. And I feel like it's also very selective things from other countries also get viewed as art. Like I was talking to Jake about this in terms of Japanese artists that are like renowned in North America, and a lot of those artists or novelists that are very revered mostly make art about like Hiroshima and like the bombing of that in Nagasaki. And I feel like a lot of that is a result of white guilt. So it feels like a lot of that, the international acclaim for artists from other countries is usually about some sort of traumatic event or the suffering of the other TM.
Yep. And it's also a lot of people, a lot of international art, or a lot of art that's very popular across borders, we could say, usually shares a very specific perspective from the place that it's from. Like a lot of American media that makes it overseas or across the world tends to be very specifically one thing or another, or is designed to be, at least like nowadays, it's very much designed to be very palatable and sort of washed of anything that is relevant to, stuff that we talk about in the States and stuff like that. And it creates a very,
it's all sanded down.
Yes. It creates a very one-dimensional outlet. It creates a very one-dimensional view of wherever that art is from. And I don't know. I thought it was an interesting topic. A lot of it's going to be focused on like the ways people sort of it's sort of becoming a video that's about like the ways people use international art to
kind of make themselves feel like smarter and more cultured than they actually are.
No. It is actually a way for them to, it is sort of it's an examination of international art, how we sort of like interact with it, the way that we form certain misconceptions about things, about how people use international art as a way to justify their own ways of thinking, if that art like reinforces that way of thinking, the ways people try to protect criticism or dismiss praise of international art based on their flawed perception of the place that it's from. And also like how we use other cultures as safe havens for our ideologies in ways that are not healthy, because other people's cultures aren't your little scapegoat for, thinking a certain way. I don't know. It's a very, I'm trying to be as level-headed as I can talking about it. But it's something I've thought about a lot, and it is
Very loaded issue.
It's an incredibly loaded issue, and here's hoping I can actually talk about it in like a way that people like. But that's me. Yeah. That is actually what I've been doing with my week. With my 2 weeks, I've been writing this. I had to rewrite it like 2 or 3 times already. I'm
excited to see it come together.
I think we're done, folks.
I think we are done.
I think we've run out of things. Oh,
no more podcasts.
Yeah, it's over, guys. Season 2, episode 1. That's it. We're done.
Season 2 is over. We'll see you in season 3 next week.
Next year.
Yeah, you know what? A year-long break from the podcast sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've exhausted this friendship.
We'll have a time skip, and then we'll all be like kind of different people, but all like really buff.
My voice will have dropped again. So
I will have heightened, and I will just sound like Goku.
I love that for you.
I can just start talking like Krillin right now if I wanted to.
GC, you're so fucking skilled.
I'm glad that you know your place as picking the short guys in Dragon Ball to Ken.
Krillin's the strongest human. He's great. He's awesome. He's actually my favorite Dragon Ball
Satan
character.
That's the strongest human.
No, Mr. Satan's like one of the weakest.
He's
no, I think he says that, right?
I mean, allegedly Ten Shinhan might be about as strong or a bit stronger, but you know, the Ten Shinhan agenda is something we don't have enough time to get into.
Did you know Mr. Satan's real name is Mark?
Mark?
What?
Ten Shinhan?
Mr. Satan's real name is Mark.
That's so funny. Thank you, Toriyama, for that gift.
It's just some fucking guy.
Mark.
Mark Satan.
All
right. Well, bye, everybody.
So long, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.